and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to tell you how to install Linux Debian server in your virtual machine. To begin with, we need two main things: the VirtualBox itself. In my case, I'm going to use Oracle VirtualBox. I am used to work with it and it is open source, and I recommend you to do the same so it is easy to follow the instructions. And secondly, we need the Debian ISO image or the installation image. This is the thing we use to install operating systems or softwares. So download according to your CPU architecture. In my case, it is AMD 64, and usually that is the case. I have already downloaded it, so I don't have to download it again. After you have these two things, open your VirtualBox manager. Here you can see I already have a virtual machine called Linux, but we are going to talk about it in another video. For now, your interface is going to be like this. You have to select the new option on the top left corner, and you have to name your virtual machine. It is better to name it something which it is. For example, in my case, let it be Debian server, Debian server home, something like that. Yeah, Debian SRV is okay. SRV is a short form for server. And then you have to select your ISO image which you downloaded. You have to select usually the other option and select the image where you have downloaded it. Sometimes it automatically detects where your ISO image is. If not, then this is the way you can select it. Make sure to uncheck the proceed with unattended install option. We are going to skip this part. Here, make sure you have at least 2 gigabytes or 2048 MB of RAM allocated and 2 CPUs. Allocating 2 CPUs is necessary to keep the system smooth, and it is sufficient for all the major operations you will be doing with the virtual machine. For virtual memory, I'm going for 12 gigabytes. You can go for anything else, but I'm okay with 12 gigabytes. One more thing, virtual memory is not the memory of your actual system, but it means this is the maximum amount we are allowing the virtual machine to use from our system's memory. So 12 gigabytes for now is okay. We can always change it later on, but let's keep it 12 gigabytes. That's sufficient. Once you have configured your hardware settings of the virtual machine, go ahead and click the settings. This is the most important part. Select the machine and click settings. By default, it's going to be on basic, but you have to go on expert, and then you have to go to network settings. We are going to configure the network. Here you have to change the attached to option from NAT to bridge adapter. Bridge adapter, it basically allows our virtual machine to appear as an individual machine on our network. We are going to need it for now for our operations. So once you have configured the network and everything, we are ready to launch the machine. Just press the start button. It's going to take a while, maybe a minute or two. And yeah, the machine is starting. These side notifications, yeah, first you have to select install, not graphical install, just install. Once you've selected this option, it's going to start the installation. Here on the right, you can see these two notifications, which mean that your actual keyboard and mouse is connected with the virtual machine. So just cross it out. That's okay. Language, you're going to select English. Region, it is better to select your own region, like wherever you're living, or the region which is closest to you. So in my case, I'm going to select my preferred region. Now the keyboard, you can select your keyboard, but normally it is the United States keyboard which is used the most. Key map, I'm going to again select the key map I got on my laptop, and now it is beginning the initial installation. It can take a while. I'm going to skip some time taking processes to save the time of the video. Sometimes there are several processes in one go. For example, one process starts and finishes, then right away the next process starts. So you don't have to worry about it until an option appears where you have to make the selection. So you just let it process, let it load, let it configure itself. Now host name, I'm going to make it Debian lab. Domain name, we don't need it for now. We need domain name when we are actually working in an organizational network or at an organizational level. Root password, try to put something which you can remember. In my case, it's going to be admin1234 hashtag. You have to verify your password again, the same password. You can use anything, but let's keep it simple because this is a private machine. User, I'm going to keep it admin, but I don't think it's going to work. We cannot name user as admin because that is the super user. So yeah, I was right. Admin is the reserved username. Okay, we have to use the root password again, which we set up recently. The root password admin1234 hashtag. Verify the password. We're almost there. Now let it be user1. Something simple. You can use your name as well, but it doesn't matter. For your account, it's the same user1. This is the username you would be using in the commands and stuff. Password, I'm going to use the same password as the root password. I don't need complications for now. Verify your password. And this part is basically pretty simple. Time zone. And again, some loading processes. Again, I'm going to just fast forward the video here. Maybe sometimes it looks it's stuck, but it's actually not. It's just the percentage stays stopped and the download is going on. Here you have to select guided use entire disk. Once again, it is not your entire system's disk, but is the allocated disk you attributed to the virtual machine. All files in one partition. Finish partitioning. Again, it is not partitioning your system's disk, but the virtual disk which you allocated, attributed, so you don't have to worry about it. This is a good thing about virtual machine, that everything stays separate from your system. You will be surprised to know how much virtual machines are used in professional environments, especially by system administrators, cyber engineers, and all of those high-tech people. So base system, I'm again going to skip some, fast forward the video, and I'm going to make sure here you just have to select no, we don't need any extra media. Mirror country is going to be your server host, which is like whenever you download an update, you download the packages in your server, you connect to that central provider, and they send you the packages. So you can select country close to your actual country. I'm going to select again Portugal. Here you have to select the first option. HTTP again is not necessary. We are not working on an organizational level for now, and we can configure these things later on as well. For now, the objective is getting the Linux Debian system installed at basic level configuration. So we have full control and flexibility of options. Okay, here again, no, I skipped a bit again to pass the loading time. Now, yeah, let's use some more skips. Okay, here, pay special attention. You have to use space bar to select or deselect any of these options. So we have to deselect the first two options. We don't need Debian desktop environment or GNOME or Genome. So deselect both of them. They are basically visual interfaces. We don't need that. And make sure to check SSH server. It is very important. We are going to need it a lot of times. We will be mostly working via SSH server. So now we just have to hit enter and make sure to use your arrow keys to select or navigate the options. After hitting enter, it's going to install the operating system, the final phases. We are pretty much almost there. Again, I'm going to fast forward this loading times a little bit to make sure the video stays short and brief. And we're almost there. SSH server is going to allow us to remotely access our server, so we can use the command line of our Windows to access the Linux system directly via SSH. So that is what it is, but I'm going to explain it in the next videos in good detail. Also, I'm trying my best to keep the video simple. Even if you are not from a tech background, you can understand it. So group bootloader is as you read it, bootloader. Here you have to select yes. Your group bootloader is going to be the main loader. Here the second option. So it automatically recognizes your operating system in the disk, in your virtual disk, and it launches it. It's like that boot menu in the Windows, but for Linux. So it's called group bootloader. Now, let me just use some more skips. Okay. HV detect, it means hardware detect. A lot of time the terms are abridged. They use short forms. For example, sudo, it means super user do. So a lot of time you would be thinking why everyone is using the commands sudo update or sudo this and sudo that. So it's super user do. Okay, installation, the basic installation is complete. Just hit continue and wait a little until we reach that restart screen. Okay, I think we did. Now you have to be careful. We have to delete the ISO image. We don't need that anymore. We have installed the system. Once we have reached the reboot screen, just power off the machine. Select the power off the machine option. And now we have to remove the ISO image. We can do that from the VirtualBox manager. But yeah, it's better you can just go to your files where you have downloaded the ISO image, the path, and you can delete the ISO image directly in there. So let me just see if there is something else to change here. No. Okay, so let's go to your ISO image and just delete it. That's it. We have removed the ISO image, and here, yeah, we have to uncheck the optical option here. Just uncheck this optical option, and that's it. Let me just make sure one more time. You can't mess up at this point. Sorry, keep editing, and okay. Now we can start the machine, and we have successfully installed our Debian Linux server. This is the base server. There are some basic things included in it, but we are going to configure it in the next videos. So select the first option. You want to load in your Debian Linux operating system. And those notifications, again, don't have to worry about it. We can also turn it in full screen, full screen, but I'm keeping it like that. Okay, your login, user 1, you remember we created it. The password, you remember whatever you had. In my case, it was admin1234 hashtag. And there we go. We are inside our Linux Debian operating system. Now let's just check the IP address, IP space -c space A. And there we go. My IP address is 192.168.1.7. This is the IP address of my Linux Debian. And if you see the IP address of my Windows ipconfig, it is 192.168.1.3, which means that Debian is appearing as a separate computer, a separate machine, a separate system on the network. That's it. I hope you liked the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please do ask me. And I hope you like the video. We will continue working on this in next videos. Thank you.